Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Paramount here in Huntington, New York for the Rockin' Fights 25 featured bout of the evening. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Sponsored by Modell Sporting Goods. Gotta go to Moe's. 102.3 WBAB, Long Island's #1 rock station. Camelot Limousine, the Inn at Fox Hollow, Anti-3, and Power Play. This bout is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Interim Chairperson Ndidi Massey, Commissioner John Signorelli, Acting Executive Director Eric Bentley. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside: John McKay, Kevin Morgan, and Carlos Ortiz Jr. At the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring will be Steve Willis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the New York State Junior Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. Fighting out of the blue corner, he wears gold and black trunks. He weighed in at an even 140 pounds. His professional record, 8 victories against 8 defeats. He has 1 draw and 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Universal Boxing from Queens, New York, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ariel Fuego Duran. Duran. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears white with blue trim. He weighed in at a ready 139.2 pounds. His professional record, 12 victories against 2 defeats. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. From Hicksville, New York, ladies and gentlemen, he's the reigning, defending New York State Junior Welterweight Champion, Anthony Showtime Karperis. Karperis.
And veteran Steve Willis.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received instructions in the dressing room. Won't you obey the commands, protect yourselves at all times. Right now, the low line is under the letters over here. The low line is under the letters over here. Tap it up. Let's go to work.
And Steve Willis takes him to the center of the ring. They go back to their corners. The ring is clear. This one is 10 rounds. New York State Junior Welterweight Championship, a rematch between Anthony Karperis and Ariel Duran. They fought in July of 2014 in a 4-round bout with Anthony Karperis winning a unanimous decision. Both guys have wanted the rematch, and tonight here it is, 10 rounds for the New York State Junior Welterweight Championship. And Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights 25, Randy G, the commish, at ringside along with Jamie.
The chin.
Jamie, I got to tell you something. This is going to be some kind of fight. What I cannot fathom is this thing going 10 rounds.
Well, you know, talking to Karperis this week, he says he watched the first fight, and there is a lot he can improve upon. He wants to stop Duran. He does not want this to go the distance. His nickname is Showtime. This is his first time main eventing the Paramount. He wants to put on the show, and he says he's a much better fighter than he was in their first fight.
Actually, in the first fight, Jamie, he let Ariel Duran run. He didn't cut the ring off. He has since really learned to cut that ring off. Let's see if he can do the job tonight.
I think there's also a little bad blood between the two of them. Listening to Karperis, they don't really like each other.
Well, that's because Anthony says that Ariel Duran ran in that first fight, and Duran takes it almost as, you know, just offensively. He says, no, I didn't run, I boxed it. He says I ran. He'll see tonight what this is all about.
Well, it makes for a more entertaining fight, at least. Interesting to have a feeling out round when it's a rematch. because you already know what the other guy can bring.
But it's 10 rounds. And you don't want to just come out blasting. So there may be a little bit feeling out.
Two different styles, as you can see, Karperis and Duran.
Anthony taking a look, wants to see what Duran has. Not going to come in blasting. Anthony gets under a powerful left hook, just taps him on the ribs and says, come on, let's step apart. There's about 25 seconds to go here in the opening round, scheduled for 10, New York State Junior Welterweight Championship. Left hand gets in by Duran.
You can see Karperis trying to figure out exactly his way to attack Duran as the first round comes to a close.
Truly a feeling out round.
Nice
2
combination.
seconds remaining. Round number 1. Anthony gets out of the way of right hand, shakes his head no. End of the first round, and they even hug. Very rarely do you see something like that, Jamie.
So what bad blood? What was I talking about? They love each other.
I just don't like that. If a fighter of mine came back to the corner after a hug, it's, what was that all about?
Yeah, I kind of agree. We can hug after the fight, but not during the fight. Let's take a look
Jamie
at some of the
Stewart,
action.
take a look.
Yeah, some of the action here in round 1. Karperis, more so the aggressor than Duran. Karperis got a nice combination off towards the end of round 1. How would you score that first round, Randy?
Tough. I mean, you know, I could see 2 of the judges going with Anthony and another judge maybe going with Ariel Duran. It was almost a nothing kind of round as they looked at each other.
Yeah, I don't think I would give it to Duran, even at best for him. We'll see what round 2 brings.
And the bell, Steve Willis in the middle of the ring. Here's the bell. Randy G, Jamie Stewart, and Cara Castronova tonight from the Paramount in Long Island. Joe DeGuardia's Rockin' Fights 25. This is the main event, scheduled for 10 rounds. Duran pops a jab, fast right hand. Nice body shot by Karperis. Duran tries a right uppercut, a little bit wild. You can't miss with a fast-handed guy, a counter-puncher like Anthony Karperis. He has knocked guys out when a guy missed a wild left hook. He countered him with a single right hand that knocked him out in this very ring.
Yeah, and Duran looks like he's swinging for one haymaker, which is nowhere close to landing so far. Karperis is trying to fight a smart fight, counter-punching. Hasn't really been hit yet.
Karperis, 28 years old. Ariel Duran, 29 years old. Duran, a tricky fight.
Nice left by Karperis, hit Duran flush on the face.
I really want to see what Karperis has learned since their first fight 2 years ago in that 4-rounder, when he let the very tricky Ariel Duran out of many traps. Is he going to do that tonight? Very pretty defense there on the part of Karperis. Did it again. Just bends his knees a little bit and gets out of the way of a couple of left hands, then gets out of the way of a right hand. Takes a chopping left hook to the side of the face.
Talking to Karperis in his training camp, he's extremely focused on this fight. He knows what this fight means to him, being in the main event for the first time.
At his best, Karperis, an excellent defensive fighter.
You can see the speed advantage he has on Duran.
And also, Ariel Duran looks in good shape, doesn't look in great shape. Anthony Karperis looks like he's been living in the gym.
Yeah. Well, he's a personal trainer as well, as you can tell. Good exchange in the middle of the ring.
Anthony walks him back to the ropes. And when you do that, you're actually just not really using any of your strength. You're just letting the guy fight off your body weight, and it takes a lot out of the opponent. End of round number 2.
And Karperis tried to touch gloves. Duran didn't see it. Karperis then turned away disgusted. Duran actually turned around, tried to do it, but it was too late.
Jamie, I don't like that when guys constantly touch it. Forget that. Forget it.
You just like them to hate each other until the fight's over. But
Yes.
let's take a look at round 2.
Don't lull this guy into making him think you're his friend. This is action from round number 2.
Karperis definitely landed more shots. He had one clean shot, the left right there to the flush of Duran's face. I would give that round to Karperis. Probably 2 rounds to none.
Now let's see if Karperis could start to land more frequent body shots, cut the ring off a little bit more. But Ariel Duran, very, very tricky. Duran really belies his 8-8-1 record. You know, it's almost like he wins one, loses one, wins one, loses one, goes into a lot of the backyards of opponents who have real good records, loses to them, or local favorites, sometimes doesn't catch the local judges.
Local
and
favorite like
he
Karperis.
he walks away with, you know, a close unanimous decision loss. He's just a very tricky fighter. You don't hit this guy with solid shots.
And Karperis looks like he has a thumb in the eye. Referee calls time.
Could that have been a headbutt? Yeah.
Referee did signal for the head.
Very good call by the veteran Steve Willis. And now you wonder, is Anthony thinking about that cut? How bad am I cut? Do I have to play a little bit more defense? Should I throw less shots? A lot starts going through the mind of a fighter, especially early in the fight. This is only round number 3, and it is scheduled for 10 rounds. Nice jab by Anthony Karperis. That was one of, we call it a shotgun jab.
Nice left by Karperis. Caught Duran's attention. Duran is 3 inches in height. Nice left by Duran. He's got 3 inches of height on Karperis. I haven't really seen him use it yet.
Duran using that left hand, one of those shots landed, but it was almost like with an open fist, like a slap. Referee Steve Willis wants him to settle down. Nice shots by Karperis. Power shots.
He scored with that one. To the body and to the head.
Karperis trying to draw Duran into a firefight. Looks like he might have hurt Duran, but Duran maybe stumbled. I think he got hurt by a shot.
You look at Karperis, he's busted open. And he knows that he's bleeding.
Now
he just
Karperis
throws Duran into the corner.
throws him down. It's called a slip or not a knockdown. Karperis is busted. I cannot see, Jamie, where that cut is.
It looks right. Looks right on his forehead.
But that's, okay, that's definitely, as Willis called it, a headbutt.
And Duran, his left eye is bloody as well. This got very interesting.
Under New York rules, in the case of an accidental foul, they will go to the scorecards if 4 rounds are in the books. And now 3 rounds are in the books. And let's see where that cut is.
He is a bloody mess right now. I don't think it affected him.
No.
He looks more annoyed and angry than anything.
The
But it
thing
is
about,
nasty.
Jamie, the thing about a cut there is that there's a lot of capillaries that run on the forehead. if you remember as a teenager, you might have had a little pimple there that might have busted open and it bled. And this always happened right before a prom, of course, that your face would just bleed all over the place. So I don't know how deep that is, but because of all those capillaries that are all over the surface of the forehead, a little tiny cut could bleed like a bullet wound.
Well, they're all looking at him and working him over in the corner. It's fine for now, but I got to think that it's gonna come out again.
He's got a great cut man, Wayne Alden, one of the best cut men in the business, working on Anthony. Anthony gets sent to a neutral corner, and out. Steve Willis calls him to the center of the ring and basically is telling him, come on, guys, settle down. And you see, Duran wanted right at him, and Willis says, not yet.
Yeah, they almost hit Steve Willis. I think they're back to not liking each other.
You think? I don't see them touching gloves after the round.
No, the friendly part is over. Nice left by Karperis.
Anthony trying to draw Ariel in. See, that would have been the perfect. If he keeps launching those kind of right hands, he's going to get hit with one of Anthony's check hooks, just right over the top of it. And Anthony can punch with that left hand.
Duran is now connecting a little bit too, connecting with the right and the left.
This one is in round number 4. 10 rounds it's scheduled for the New York State Junior Welterweight Championship. Ariel Duran from Queens, New York, and Anthony Karperis out of Hicksville, New York.
And look at Karperis. That cut is opened again. Referee winced when he looked at his face already.
Well, it looks bad because the blood is pouring down, but it is a scalp wound, which I told you, bleeds sometimes profusely.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's affecting him, but it doesn't look good either.
I remember Sean O'Grady back in the 1980s, a former lightweight champion, lost a fight. I believe it was to Jim Watt on a cut that was about a half-inch long on the scalp line that just bled profusely into his eyes. That is the only thing. Will the blood drip down into Anthony's face? It is not in any area, though, that is of any danger. It's not like an eyelid or right below the eye or in the corner of the eye. It's way up, apparently, on the scalp.
Well, Karperis landed a couple of good combinations in this round.
And
so
there,
did Duran.
yeah, Karperis landed a sharp left hand, gets away from a few shots. Anthony is not hurt at all. Anthony's at 100%. It was a headbutt that opened that cut.
But we still have a lot of rounds to go, so.
And again, you've got to let the cut man do his work. And Anthony has a good young cut man in the corner, Wayne Alden, who happens to own his own construction company, but he's got his own construction to do right now. On the forehead of Anthony Karperis, who takes a lead right hand to the face.
Final 20 seconds of this round. Been a pretty even fight so far with the edge to Karperis.
And they stand almost toe-to-toe, final seconds. Round number 4. In what is turning into a brawl here at the Paramount. So they go to their corners after the 4th round, and the cut man doing his job on that cut on the scalp line. Let's see if that's the scalp line or the center of the forehead. It looks to be high up.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, October 14th, Rockin' Fights, Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing returns to the Paramount. Get your tickets tonight and also download the Star Boxing app.
And Karperis both connecting there. Action is picking up. Karperis is quicker to the punch than Duran. And like you said, Duran is just a tricky kind of fighter, kind of unorthodox. But that cut on Karperis, while I don't think it's hurting him, it bears watching because it flows by mid-round.
Here we go, round 5. Anthony comes right out. Duran comes right out. That name Duran, to me,
Yeah.
always signifies one of the greatest fighters of all time, Roberto Monastepiedra Duran.
Hands of Stone.
And there's a movie out now,
That's right.
Hands of Stone, starring Robert De Niro and Edgar Ramirez, about Hands of Stone. This is Ariel Duran out of Queens, New York, no relation to the great Roberto.
He's putting on a good fight right now. These two know each other. They had a fight about 4 years ago, in which Karperis won on decision.
And it was a fight where Ariel basically, I thought, I'm going to stop just short. He didn't run, but he did move in retreat for all 4 rounds and frustrated Anthony, but Anthony won all 4 rounds in the fight. Let's see what happens. We're in round 5 right now. Round 5 of a somewhat of a shootout with Anthony Karperis cut high up on the scalp from a headbutt.
He's not running that much this fight. He's in there, he's exchanging leather.
And let me say what happens here. Let's just say the cut gets worse. And let's say the blood pours down to the point where Anthony can no longer see shots coming and they have to stop the fight. They will go to the scorecards, and whoever is in the lead will win a technical decision. There's a slip.
Right, I think Karperis is in the lead right now. I think he's pretty much winning every round.
On my card, he has won every round. Maybe he's won 3 of the 4, but I have him winning all 4.
Yeah, I have 3 of the 4.
Nice, sharp left hook by Karperis.
I got it. Step back. Off the head. Work your way out. Great, I got it.
45 seconds remain in the 5th round. Toughest fight of Anthony's career came in this very ring back in April of 2015 when he won a majority decision in a total shootout over Bayan Jargal in one of the year's best fights that year.
And like you said before, this is his 14th time at the Paramount. What a following he has here.
Hard right hand to the head. That was possibly Duran's best shot of the fight. Backing up again, gets away from the left hook. Karperis tries to work in close, and they tie up. Karperis bangs a couple of rights to the ribs, leans on Duran, and in comes Steve Willis. Seconds remain, round number 5.
Well, Anthony Karperis, 5 rounds through his fight, is rematched against Duran. I have him up 4 rounds to 1. You have him with all 5 rounds.
I've given, Anthony all 5 rounds. Let's take a look at some of the action from round number 5. A lot of pressure from Anthony Karperis, but not that time.
One more time, I just want to thank all of our great sponsors tonight. Model Sporting Goods, gotta go to Moe's. WBAB 102.3, Long Island's #1 rock station. Camelot Limousine, The Inn at Fox Hollow, Anti-3, and Power Play. Thank you to all of our great sponsors.
If the cut will affect him at all, hasn't so far.
Now, I told you he's got an outstanding cutman in there in Wayne Alden, and Wayne is doing an excellent job. Because 2 rounds ago, you saw that blood pouring down the face of Karperis. But when you have a guy like a Wayne Alden in your corner who knows what he's doing with the cuts, how to put the pressure on, how to work with the cuts, there's really nothing to worry about, especially when it's a scalp line cut like that.
Karperis sort of body blowing him into the corner there.
And they fall into a clinch. You see a little tap on the side by Anthony Karperis. Come on, let me go. And then he shoves Duran away, who then stumbles.
Yeah, you could see the strength, though, from Karperis. Just a little push, and Duran basically almost fell over. Oh, nice left by Duran there.
That certainly was. He caught Karperis walking in. Karperis comes back with a right hand and now tries to mix it up. It gets tied up by Duran, who backs Anthony Karperis to the ropes, and they get broken up by Steve Willis.
Duran always seems to look annoyed. His facial expressions, he always seems to be bothered.
Neither guy has really been hurt by a punch. If anybody got hurt, I think it was Duran by a left hook a few rounds ago. And Anthony, if he got hurt at all, it was with the headbutt a few rounds ago, which opened the cut on the scalp. Other than that, no punches hurt Anthony Karperis tonight.
Now it's been a good fight. It's been a competitive fight.
Midway through round number 6, Randy G, the commission, ringside with Jamie Stewart and Kara Castronova. And Steve Willis has some words for Duran.
Now that cut is flowing badly right now on the forehead of Karperis.
Whoops, Karperis stuck his tongue out.
Seems to be a theme here at the Paramount. We saw Johnny Hernandez do that several times. Good exchange in the middle of the ring. Nice body shot by Karperis. Duran tries to come back. Final minute of the round.
A little more blood coming down the face of Anthony Karperis. But again, we remind you, that cut is high on his forehead. And I don't know if he just got headbutted again.
Referee calls time.
There may have been, I think there was another headbutt. Anthony got hurt by that one. There is more blood on the face of Anthony Karperis. Anthony is looking towards his crowd.
Karperis just looked at the crowd and said, come on. He's ready to go.
Steve Willis had some words with Ariel Duran. Let him actually walk halfway across the ring instead of pushing him back to the corner. Anthony is really steamed up. But he's got a head that's open, possibly from 2 cuts. I don't know if the original cut is the one that's bleeding even more, or there's a second cut now for Wayne Alden to work on. That blood is pouring down the face of Anthony. I don't even know. That could be on the eye now. It looks like it could be on the side of the right eye.
The only thing is, he's basically won almost every round.
They will go to the scorecards if this thing has to be stopped. Now let's see what happens. Anthony Karperis ready to sit down. Wayne Alden in front of him. His cut man wipes it away. Now let's take a look where the cut is. There's one on the side of the right eye. And again, this is not in a very dangerous place. It's an area where it's going to drip down the side of his face and probably not in his eye. But he's got 2 cuts to work on. Let's see. Jamie, if we could pick up, let's see if there's any indication that it was a headbutt, which I'm sure it was.
Yeah. He's a smaller fighter, Karperis. He leads forward with his head. I don't know if you can see their heads colliding at all. Nice little
not there, not there, not there. They were wrapped up. Some shots there. No, nothing there.
And he's already bleeding. Look at this.
That's where he stuck his tongue out about midway through the round.
So you can tell the cut is not affecting him at all.
This is round number 7. Here at the Paramount, Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing Rockin' Fights 25. Randy G, the commish, Jamie Stewart, and Kara Castronova ringside. Duran, a very tricky fighter, very smooth, gets out of the way of shots. You just don't hit this guy with solid shots.
No. You do not. He definitely has his own style, unorthodox, tough to pin down, but Karperis has done a good job of racking up points.
Right hand misses by Anthony, comes in with a short left hook. Anthony sidestepping, little stunner step to the side. Partial right hand gets in by Duran. Willis says, come on, watch that stuff, Anthony. As Anthony kind of try to just shove Duran away. Anthony takes
nice
a sharp right.
Duran.
Anthony actually falling a little bit out of his fight plan, backing up a little bit. And that is just not his fight plan against Duran.
No, you're exactly right. He needs to press the action, use his speed, crouch down. He's a little too stationary right now.
And when he is stationary like that, Jamie, he's letting Ariel Duran just rest. See, when Ariel's doing nothing, he's resting. He's got to be, if you're Anthony Karperis, you've got to be putting the pressure on. And if you are Ariel Duran, you want to rest. You want to stay on the outside.
Final minute, round 7.
Little bolo shot try by Duran was picked off on the arm of Anthony Karperis on the left arm. Now they stand in front of each other. This is where Duran is more or less resting.
You talk about Karperis' cut man. You know, he does a really good job because that cut is coming down now, but it basically lasts 3/4 of the round before it gets bad.
And if you have some rookie corner man in there, both of those cuts would be just pouring down the face of Karperis, and it looks so much worse than it really is. "15 seconds to go. Anthony Karperis cut by 2 headbutts in 2 separate rounds. One on the side of the right eye, the other high in the middle of the scalp. High on the forehead. Final seconds, round 7.
Well, their first fight went to a decision. It looks like their second fight might as well.
Well, there's 9 minutes to go.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from round 7. Another competitive round. Karperis' cut didn't really bother him that much.
Karperis showed some nice defense there. Chopping right hand by Karperis, and then they fall into a clinch. This wasn't this will never be round of the year.
No.
But I think Anthony a little bit frustrated at this point. Every time he tries to get close, Duran holds him like that, and Anthony has a real good inside game.
You can see how the headbutt could happen, how close they are throughout the fight. Here we go, 8th and final round.
No, not final.
Oh, I'm sorry. 8th round. What am I
In
calling?
some fights, it is the final
right.
round. This is a 10-round bout for the New York State Junior Welterweight Championship. And I do think that Anthony Karperis has won. If he hasn't won 8 rounds in this fight, he's won 7. But many of them have been very competitive, very close. And Anthony, for sure, is frustrated. The heads have come together several times. And Anthony Karperis in the white trunks has come away the worst for wear.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself there, but it's been a very competitive fight so far, testy at times. Karperis has done a good job of not letting the cut bother him because he suffered the cut early in the fight.
Well, Jamie, they've also told him in the corner. His trainer, Billy Desser, real pro. Frankie Globuschutz, Frankie G, it's his gym that Anthony trains in, and Wayne Old, and all pros. They have told him, don't worry about the cuts. They're nothing. They're going to bleed down, but they're not in a spot that is going to end this fight. And they also told him, because they're headbutts, if the fight does get stopped, you're so in the lead, you're going to win a technical decision. There is nothing for Anthony to worry about.
Easy for you to say.
The only thing that we're worried about is that they come above us and the blood's going to get all over our beautiful suits.
I was a little worried about that before, I have to admit.
Other than that, there's no worry for Anthony, there's no worry for Ariel. Referee Steve Willis has to worry because his nice blue shirt's getting pretty well drenched with blood.
Yeah, he's had a busy night's work. Less action in this round, in this 8th round. Looks like both fighters sort of getting their breath a little bit.
And I've already noticed that my wife, who is sitting pretty close to us, has moved quite far back from the ring. An experienced woman of boxing knows that when there's a lot of blood and you're wearing white, as she is, well, you just don't sit that close to the ring.
The ringside seat isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Especially when there's a lot of blood and bodily fluids. I see you got your glass covered. Long, lazy right hand by Duran, and then Anthony was thinking about throwing the right hand, but didn't want to hit him in the back. Final 30 seconds, round number 8. And just like Johnny Gez learned in his fight, this is a learning fight for Anthony Karperis, which he will take with him into future fights.
You see Duran trying to load up, trying to land that right. Karperis knows it.
Remember, this is the ring where Chris Algieri learned his trade before he went on to become world champion. Anthony walks to his corner, kind of shakes his head in disgust. And Wayne Alden, his cut man, jumps in front of him.
All right, let's take a look at the action. Round number 8. Duran and Karperis trying to exchange. Duran hasn't really landed many solid shots tonight. Nice body shot by Karperis. Karperis certainly is quicker, has the better combinations, has that cut, but like you said, Randy, the cut is in a spot that it doesn't affect his vision for the most part. So if you're gonna have a cut, it's a good place to have it.
Wayne Alden has done an exceptional job here tonight. I'm very proud because I've watched him from the beginning as a cut man as he learned from some of the best. And now he is one of the best. A little something on that right hand and a right uppercut by Duran. Let's see if that gets Anthony's ire up.
It got his attention. Nice right again. Up on that right by Duran. Good start to the round 9 by Duran.
Anthony's 2 biggest fans are his mom and dad, Andy and Lorraine. They not only come to every one of his fights, they go to the gym almost all the time to watch him train. Although I gotta tell you, Mama Lorraine, during the fights, most of the time keeps her hands over her eyes.
Especially this fight. They don't want to watch her baby boy bleeding for 30 minutes.
Before, I was sensing a little bit of frustration on the part of Anthony Karperis, who undoubtedly is going to win this fight, and I'm dying to hear from him when Kara jumps in the ring with him later, how frustrated he has been throughout this fight. But Ariel Duran is a very tricky fighter. He's not going to stand there and let you pound on him. He is very, very elusive, very gifted defensively.
Yeah, you know, some fighters are just tough fighters, and they're tough matchups. Duran's just a tough matchup for Karperis. They say styles make fights. Karperis hasn't exactly figured Duran out, but that being said, he's won just about every round.
Let me tell you, Duran comes in a lot of times with that head, leading with that head, and you can see Anthony pulling his head out of the way. He is worried. He's already been cut by 2 headbutts. He is worried about another headbutt, and maybe the next one will be a very dangerous one over an eye. So far, the 2 cuts high up, middle of the forehead, up on the scalp, and on the side of the right eye. So any blood you see. Oh, there we go! That is a knockdown. They were just trading shots, and Anthony powered him.
Nice body shot by Karperis. Duran couldn't deal with it. 20 seconds left in the round. Duran holding on. Karperis trying to finish him. He might do it.
Let's see, Jamie, if Karperis can open it up and close the show.
Paramount is loud and electric.
Again, very tricky. Is Ariel Duran will hold and do everything he can do to get out of trouble. Final seconds of the round, and he does survive the round.
Karperis motions to the crowd. He is fired up. He wanted to be impressive in his first main event at the Paramount. He finally got that knockdown he was looking for.
I don't know what Duran is complaining about.
I don't know if he thought it was a low blow. We'll take a look now and see.
It was round number 9. Now let's see if it was a body shot and another body shot to the right hand, a chopping right.
Unless he thought it was to the back of his head.
Now let's see, I don't know. It looked maybe on the side of the head from that angle. Let's see if we can tell here. That was clearly the
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 10th and final round.
He's complaining to the referee right now.
10th and final round. They quickly touch gloves.
So that's what that was about.
And if you are Ariel Duran, you do have a complaint. But I mean, it's not going to affect the outcome of the fight. That's nothing that's going to turn this fight around. It was a 10-8 round in round number 9. I've got Anthony Karperis clearly in the lead.
Right.
90 to 80.
But if you're in the ring and you're Duran, you might be thinking half those rounds you won 10-9.
But let's see, because he did go down from that shot, and many times shots to the back of the head can leave you a little bit drunk. Let's see if Duran is going to go down again. He fires a right hand with anger.
Been a very entertaining fight. Duran definitely came to fight. Karperis cut his open again. 2 minutes to go in this match.
Karperis tries to stay on him, tries to work in close. He gets wrapped up, gets tagged with the left hand, gets under a right hand, pounds the body, misses with a left hook. In comes Karperis, and again he gets held on.
Duran is just a sneaky type of fighter.
He really is.
You know, he's got his hands down. You don't know if he's hurt or he's just playing possum half the time.
And again, Jamie, you're going to hear me say it so many times. Fighters learn just about every time out. We saw Johnny Dez learn tonight. We've seen Anthony Karperis learn tonight.
Duran came in and he got Karperis with a right there and a little bit of a left, but Karperis took it well.
But I like Karperis' energy tonight. I like his enthusiasm. I like his composure, because almost from early on, when he got headbutted, he has really kept his composure.
Yes. A less experienced fighter might have gotten nervous, panicked. Karperis, like you said, full steam ahead.
And let me tell you, he's had some great training. He's got a great corner. He's got a great attitude. That's why he looks so good tonight. That's why on my card he's won every single round. And it's been a very frustrating fight. But because everything else is falling together in his career, he's able to keep it together.
Final 20 seconds. Duran tries the uppercut, doesn't land.
And again, the left arm of Anthony Karperis held on to. Final seconds of the fight. You know who the new champion's going to be. Steve Willis still yelling at Ariel Duran. Fight's over. And at the bell, a right hand by Duran, but they fall into a hug there for a second. Now you see a smile on the face of Karperis. Busted up from headshots, cut around the right eye, cut on the forehead. They are, well, Duran is exhausted, as well he should be. Anthony still has a lot of gas in the tank. We know he's going to win it. On my scorecard, 100.
Let's take a look at the final round of the fight, round 10. Round that we think Anthony Karperis won, though Duran did land a couple of solid shots. But Karperis in control most of the night, despite the cuts over his eye. Did get a knockdown in the fight, although it was a disputed knockdown.
And it's Anthony Karperis finishing it strong. Let's see who wins the decision. David Diamante has the scorecards. Let's make this one official. I think we know who's going to win, but David will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action here at the Paramount, we go to the judges' scorecards. Kevin Morgan and Carlos Ortiz Jr. both scored this bout 98-91. John McKay scored this bout 97-92. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. And still, the New York State Junior welterweight champion from Hicksville, New York, Anthony Showtime Karperis.
No question about it. That just made it official. And Kara Castronova is moving over now to the brand new New York State Junior welterweight champion. There's Anthony Karperis. Those cuts which hurt before, holding on to that belt makes it seem so much better. That's kind of like ice on the face. And now, another reason to smile, Kara Castronova with Anthony
Congratulations,
Karperis.
Anthony. You showed a lot of heart out there today. Tell me about the cut in the head, but like, do you feel that it had an effect on your mentality during the fight?
No, you know, I mean, it's a lot of blood. I mean, I've been cut before, but this time on top of my head, it was really pouring out. But I mean, I was able to fight through it and stuff, and then I got the one on my eye, and got progressively a little worse. But I mean, you know, I'm a fighter. Fighters fight.
You looked really good in there. Did it take a while for you to figure out his style? I know that he's very evasive, and he was headbutting a lot. Was that frustrating?
Well, you know what? I mean, we were both coming forward, so it's going to happen. You know, when we would tie up, our heads would come close. You know, I don't want to say anything was intentional on either end, but it happens. And you know, in the beginning, I was having an easier time, and then I was actually expecting him to die out a little more. And he got like a second win in the middle of the fight, and that's when I had to pick it up too. You know, and I was kind of holding off till the end to pick it up a little bit, but I saw he was coming on a little stronger, like rounds like 5 and 6. So I figured I got to start stepping up and step on the gas.
Well, you did a great job out there. Again, you showed so much heart. Thank you so much for that performance.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Can't wait to do this again.
Well, there's no question about it. It was Anthony Karperis winning just about every round in that fight, Jamie.
His first headline fight at the Paramount, he got the job done. His nickname is Showtime. Karperis now improves to 13-2. He's a star. His star is rising. His stock is rising. He got it done once again at the Paramount, Randy.
Well, it was Anthony Karperis, the new junior welterweight champion of New York. For everybody at Joe DeGuardi Star Boxing, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.